Good afternoon and welcome everyone. Calling to order Clark County Council in council time, Wednesday, January 28th, 2026. We'll start with the roll call.
Councillor Young,
Here.
Councillor Belcott,
Present.
Councillor Fuentes,
Here.
Councillor Little,
Here.
and Chair Marshall.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
None today.
Thank you. And that takes us to public comment. And public comment is on the agenda items only on our council time agenda.
Carmen De Leon,
Yeah, I'm Carmen De Leon. I also go by Mello. And then agenda item,
is it on? Oh, yeah.
yeah, hello? Yeah, so agenda item 7.1 says Department of Parks and stuff. So I heard about park pods where they're like about 6 feet big and then homeless people can sleep in them overnight and they're solar powered. So if you want to talk about helping the homeless, you can do that instead of letting, them take over and just be junkies. Tell them, hey, you can come spend the night here in these pods that be used in Norway and other countries. Also, we're talking about parks. I'm talking about the Vancouver Lake again because of the algae and up there at Salmon Creek, the algae. And I've said it before, and I've made the attempts to try and talk to these people, and they don't answer the phone, and they're not at the address shown because I drove out there. It's a P.O. box. And like I've said before, have icebergs, push them down the Columbia River and drop them into the lake to cool it off. Drop them into Climb Line and get rid of the algae. Another thing is pesticides. So I've heard of other countries doing the right thing and not putting chemicals in the grass and stuff, and by bringing ducks and sheep to eat the weeds. So it's a organic way of getting rid of unwanted weeds in our public spaces by just saying, hey, do you have ducks? Do you have, whatever the animals? I believe it was sheep. Wow, you guys got two securities on me. I'm just one. But anyways, that's another thing is, yeah, the ducks can eat the weeds without putting pesticides, forever pesticides in our ground. So if you could put farmers to work and say, hey, bring your sheep, bring your whatever to this park, and it can clean without using chemicals as it's going out. And then I do want to make the correction.
Because you keep moving it. If you just put it down and just talk into it.
Okay, so anyways, I did want to make the correction because I said 400, instead of saying 400 million on the 20th, I said 40,000, and it was a big mistake because I meant to say the United States have a population of less than 400 million, yet we have 1 billion hits on pornography. And to think that's sickening to think that the people are willingly giving themselves brain damage just because it's free. And there should be a warning on that. That's why I talk about fiber optics, because a bunch of crap. And the legislator, yeah, the legislator needs to be the real people. 80% of the United States voted for Trump. So 80% of people do want ICE. And that should reflect in your so-called letter to the legislators that, yeah, I, for one, want 3551, Oregon House Bill 3551 for all of the country.
Thank you. Anyone online?
Yes. One caller. Caller, you've been sent a request to unmute. Please go ahead and do so. State your name for the record and go ahead with your comment.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
This is Kimberly Goheen Elvin. Good afternoon. Well, I had car issues, or I would have been in person today to physically defend my First Amendment rights against any policy or changes made about speaking on agenda items only, which include 4.1, the minutes of January 28th. Do not jump to your own conclusions or interrupt my rights. First, 4.2, the foundational public health services. This council is also the Clark County Board of Health. And I'm asking, where is the $1 million handed over of hard-earned tax dollars handed over to Melnick for the study of racism. Where is that study? And we want to know where how he spent those monies. You are to provide public safety, and a few important matters must be addressed to the public per this adoption. Are you investigating any companies here in Clark County that use toxic chemicals or hazardous materials? Have you told Vancouver and Battleground citizens that fluoride is in their water without education as to the toxicity, or did they have a vote to get fluoride in their water? With concerns from the public, have you attempted to look into stopping chemtrails over Clark County? Have you educated the people at all as to any toxic air, ground, and water? Hence our no growth 5-year overlay. Our resources are polluted. We don't need any more people here, folks. Where's the transparency and open public education? It's your duty. My immediate concern is the toxic water of the Clark County inmates drink daily, and I will be putting a public records request in to see how any attempts have been made to fix this serious health problem. I will also ask for any toxic levels that are there contained through their using fluoride through lead pipes. My concerns for item 7.1 will be held for later time as I speak on 4.1. 43 people spoke that day on January 28th, all relating to ICE here in Clark County. I must respect the fact that they have a First Amendment right to say anything other than threats, of course, as our First
That's
Amendment
not
right.
an agenda
But
item.
I do
It's
not
just if
have
you have a
the
correction
minutes
to the
is an
minutes.
agenda item. The minutes are on the agenda item, and as I
Our
stated
only
earlier, I
action
wanted to
is
be
to
personal.
adopt them.
So
If you could move on to
well,
other
sorry, but it's on the
agenda
agenda,
items.
Sue. I'm sorry. So I will keep continuing. Speaking about ICE, since the other speaker did also.
Chair, point of
these
order.
two-
Can we
Okay,
cut her off?
you need to keep to the agenda items. You
Okay,
can't
what I'm
rehash
going to
things
do is
that came up
you
from
guys
previous
need to
minutes.
know that
If
you
you don't
cannot
comply,
stop my
we'll just
rights if
turn off
it's
the
on the
mic.
agenda. It's on the agenda, and it's
Okay,
important
could
that
you
we
just
do
cut
this
the mic there?
communication.
Maybe next time. Is there anyone else online? Okay, thank you. On to old business, minutes of January 28th, 2026. Are there any corrections or comments? And if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
It's been moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Draft public health, foundational public health, I'm not sure what the S is at the moment, the resolution.
Good
Jordan,
afternoon.
I think that's you.
It is indeed. Good afternoon, Council. Jordan Bogey, Senior Policy Analyst for the record. Yes, this is the resolution that I spoke with Council about last week during policy updates. This is a request from WASALFO, the Association of Local Public Health Officials, which is a subset of WASAC, the Association of Counties. And the request was for Clark County to put together a resolution calling on the state to maintain funding for foundational public health services. And so we've put that draft resolution together for council's consideration. And so if council is supportive of moving forward with this resolution, we would read it at the February 17th council meeting, but I would also share with our legislative folks just so they're aware of the council's support for fixing the vapor tax issue that we had talked about before, where they've reclassified vape products as tobacco products, and therefore funds are now going into the state's general fund rather than a dedicated FPHS account for local services. And one item I would like to bring council's attention to is I was talking to you about these in our one-on-one conversations on Monday, and Councilor Young had a suggested edit to add a line in that since this is a regressive tax, an excise tax on vapor and tobacco products, we should be using those funds to target public health interventions. And so if council is supportive of that, I could also add that in to this draft.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything related to like measles outbreaks or the expense when there's things like that, outbreaks? Is that up earlier?
We do have some lines about what the foundational public health services are used for. I think it's one of the last couple of whereas clauses. And that involves communicable disease, case investigation, immunization, education, and outreach, and some of the disease prevention work that they do.
Great. And then
And
it
I
can
guess I
be-
guess measles is called out specifically in that.
Oh, yep, I see that now.
Whereas there.
Is included the expense when those things occur?
I can add in a little bit more detail that there's expense associated with that as well, if council would like.
Well, Dr. Melnick mentioned, I think it was about $3 million with the last measles outbreak that had to occur. I don't know, it adds a little punch. I'm agreeable to what Counselor Young has suggested. Others?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Okay, great. Thank you. So is that
I-
council, just to say it's both suggested edits added into this resolution?
Yes, I think so. Counselor Little, did you have a question? Okay, great. Yes, so I think steam ahead. Thank you
Great,
for your work
thank you.
on this.
Thank you, council.
Okay, then moving on to new business.
None today.
New business. Okay, counselor reports. Are there any counselor reports?
Yes. Chair?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm on the Mental Health Sales Tax Committee, and we discussed potential revenue in the account this upcoming year may exceed 5 million. So there will likely be grants available. And we still have to decide if the proportion that would be internal or external, but it's good news that there'll be some funds to use to help our community.
Great news. Thanks for sharing that. Any other reports?
Chair.
Go ahead.
Yes, that was a great report. I'm happy to hear that. Super happy. I just wanted to say that I attended in the last 2 weeks, 3 CAB meetings. One of which was kind of an onboarding meeting, and then 2 were regular meetings, but they were more administrative in nature and not really a lot to talk about. We just talked about the work plan for the year, looked at the bylaws and things like that, but just wanted to leave that update.
Right, that's the Community Action Board, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. Any other reports? Okay, hearing none, we will be moving on to work session requests. 7.1.
Yes, so the first one is from Public Works in the Parks Department. This is to update their 2028 to 2033 Parks and Nature System Plan and Natural Areas Acquisition Plan. This plan guides the acquisition and land development management for our park system. And this one is really just to provide some historical information for council and then get feedback on the outreach and engagement plan that they have to get some community feedback.
Okay, any comments? Is there support for this? I would be supportive. Thumbs up all around.
Thank you. The second one is a follow-up to council's request from last year on the Noxious Weed Management Program. Council requested about procedures and the use of herbicides. There's no direction that's needed at this. It's really informational, and staff will go over the implementation of the state's weed control law, talk about the County Noxious Weed Control Board Education Enforcement Program and the weed control services on county lands. So this is really just bringing back to council as there was discussion last year.
I would be supportive, and I wonder what the timing might be, because I think there's multiple work session requests out there. I don't know that this is time sensitive.
Yeah, their desired date is in March, but no, it is not time sensitive. It's only time sensitive to be responsive to council. And Chair, you are correct. We have a lot of work sessions, and Rebecca's been really good at capturing those, but I'm going to be sitting down with you to really talk about some of those priorities and fitting them in, because there's a lot of needs in a short amount of time too.
Right.
Thank you.
March sounds like a reasonable time. Other counselors, thumbs up? Noxious weeds, we'll learn all about it. Thank you. And I apologize for not getting this on the agenda earlier, but maybe some of us have been receiving emails about the last Fort Vancouver Regional Library Board of Trustees meetings, but I would request maybe just a brief work session to hear from the director and maybe the board chair, just for us to better understand what our role is related to appointment of members and what some of the issues might be and how we can be supportive of the library.
And are you asking to put this on next week's agenda for council's
Yes,
consideration?
that's exactly what I'm
Okay,
asking.
so I'll just need one other counselor to support that. We'll put on the work
Supported.
session request.
Okay, it looks
thank you.
like there's several. Thank you very much. Okay, policy updates. Jordan.
Good afternoon again, Council. Just a couple of quick updates for you today. The first is that I wanted to let you all know that today was the House of Origin Policy Committee cutoff. So any bills that have not made it out of their original policy committee will not be moving forward unless, there's a legislative miracle, which does happen from time to time. And the next cutoff is going to be in the fiscal committees in the Houses of Origin, and that is on Monday. So just want to give council a reminder of that, as well as the fact that the next budget projections will be out on February 16th, and that will inform a lot of the work that the legislature is doing around the interim budget here. And then the second item that I had for council is I was talking to the sheriff yesterday, and he is working on talking to some members of our delegation about the sheriff's office and the jail's office efforts to secure some state funding to look into a new firing range. As we know, that's been a topic of where our local law enforcement will be able to utilize a firing range once Camp Bonneville is no longer an option, and then with some of the things happening around English Pit. And so the sheriff had requested to see if council would be supportive of those efforts, and if so, I'll work with him and see if a letter might be helpful or what might be useful to move that forward if council is supportive.
That sounds good. Is there anything else?
That's it.
Jordan, do you need a thumbs up today on the?
Yeah. I just a thumbs up to make sure that council is supportive. I think I've heard in the past support for the sheriff's and jail's efforts on finding a new firing range, but just wanted to make sure that the council's okay with us looking into that and doing what we can to let members of our delegation know that the council's supportive.
That would be great. Thumbs up on that one all around, and appreciate the sheriff taking the initiative on that. Okay, anything else related to legislative updates? I did just, a note was passed to me that I'll just share with people. In memory of Rose Parks, C-Tran and TriMet are both free to ride today only. I wish we could have announced this earlier, but there's still time in the day to get a free ride on TriMet or C-Tran. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that. Okay, moving on to executive sessions.
None today.
No executive sessions today. Okay, I believe we've concluded our agenda, and without objection, this meeting is adjourned.